Next, I want to see that when I tell the saddle to move 0.1 inches, does it really move 0.1 inches? If not, I need to make adjustments to LinuxCNC to make sure that it's going the right distance. So let's set that up. I don't own any dial indicators, and that would be a really nice way to do this. So I'm improvising. I have a set of calipers that I set down between the saddle and the machine. I've extended them so that it's touching both the machine and the saddle at the same time, and I zeroed it out. Now when we move the motor, we can measure how far it's moved, as long as I move it in the negative Y direction. So let's try that and see what we get. As you can see, it moved 0.04 inches instead of 0.1. So it looks like it's going about 40% of the distance that I told it to go. So how do we fix that? Let's go look at LinuxCNC and I'll show you how I'm going to fix that. I'm going to show you two different ways to set the scaling on your axes for your machine in LinuxCNC. The first way is here we're looking at the INI file for my setup, which I happen to call boss8. So this is boss8.ini. You'll find this in the folder that is set up in LinuxCNC when you set up a configuration. As you scroll down in your file, you will see the different axes. Axis 1, axis 2, axis 0, axis 1, and axis 2, which is your X, Y, and Z in this case. And in here you'll notice this value here, which is scale. This was set up for me by the StepConf program, and it uses your turns per inch and various values you put in there, and it creates this scale. And I'll show you that in a second in there. But once this is created, you can come in this INI file and you can change it yourself. So since my axis moved 0.04 inches when I wanted it to move 0.1 inches, this scale actually fits very nicely with that. It's 4,000. So since that's 40% of how far I want to go, 4,000 is 40% of 10,000. So in this case, I can change this to 10,000. I can change the same on the y-axis for my machine, so that's 10,000. And on the z-axis, I can also change it to 10,000, but it's going in the wrong direction, so I can change it to negative 10,000, and that will reverse the direction and do the scaling at the same time. So that's one way to set it up. The other way to set up your scaling is in StepConf. As you can see here, I have my step. And if you look down here at the very bottom, it shows you the axis scale that it's calculated using the values you've put in here. Now I happen to know that my pulley teeth is 2 to 1, 1 to 2 in this case, and my lead pitch is 5, and so my motor steps per revolution must be wrong, and that was the default that was in there. I just left it alone. So I can go in here and I can change this. In this case, again, 40%, 200 is 40% of 500. So we'll change that to 500. And you'll see down here at the bottom, the scaling changes to 10,000, just like it did by going in and changing it manually. The advantage of doing it this way is when I want to make other changes, such as inputs and outputs and things like that in this interface, and don't want to go in and write the LinuxCNC code to do that manually, then this making changes here will override whatever you did in the other file. So doing it in here makes it so that you won't have that problem. It'll save your changes and everything will work out just fine. So I went ahead and I make the change here, change it to 10,000. To reverse the direction is different in here though. You'll want to go back to your pinouts, and you can see here I've already made the change For the Z, I wanted it to go in the opposite direction, so I changed the step and direction. I inverted those, and that will change the direction of your axis for you if you're using StepConf. Perfect. So as you can see, it went 0.1 inch, just like I told it to.